Welcome to Motorcare Channel. You know, every language has those kind of weird, old-fashioned phrases that can leave you scratching your head. Today, we're going to tackle one of those from English, a chit of a girl. And to really get what it means, we're going to look at it from a super interesting angle, a really clear explanation from an Indonesian perspective. So yeah, let's dive in. So what does it actually mean to call someone a chit of a girl? I mean, is that a good thing, a bad thing? Is it an insult? Or maybe a weird kind of compliment? It's a bit of a puzzle for sure. But don't worry, we're going to figure it out together because our source material has all the clues we need. All right, so here's where we find our key. The secret to understanding this old English phrase, it actually comes from this fantastic, super clear Indonesian explanation. And you know, it's funny, sometimes looking at a language from the outside in is what gives you the clearest picture of all. Okay, so our source doesn't mess around, it gets right to it. The Indonesian definition tells us it's an Old English expression, and it's used to talk about a young girl who's seen as, well, small, inexperienced, or sometimes even a little unimportant. Right off the bat, you can tell this is a pretty old-fashioned term, and it's all tied up in how people used to think about youth. But you know, a simple dictionary definition is never the whole story, right? There's always more to it. The real magic, the real meaning, is hidden in the nuance. You know, the context, the tone of voice. And trust me, this is where things start to get really interesting. This really lays it out perfectly. The phrase has, like, two different faces. On one side, it can be pretty neutral, just a simple observation, you know? She's young. But on the other side, it can be used in a condescending way. The Indonesian word here is meremehkan, which means you're kind of looking down on them. You're implying that because she's young, she's not important, or she can't handle a serious role. So it all comes down to how the person is saying it. Okay, now this is the coolest part. This is the big twist. Our source points out that a lot of the time, this phrase is used in situations that are the total opposite of unimportant. It's actually used to shine a spotlight on a moment when a young girl does something incredibly bold or brave or says something super wise for her age. It's that shock, that surprise. Wow, she's just a chit of a girl, but look at what she did. That contrast is what gives the phrase its real punch. All right, so we've talked about the theory, but that only gets you so far, right? Let's see how this thing actually works in a real sentence. And this is especially great for anyone learning either Indonesian or English, because seeing these side-by-side examples, that's how it really sticks in your brain. So let's take a look. Okay, check out this first one. In Indonesian, you have hanya seorang gadis kecil, tetapi dia berani menentang keputusan besar. And in English, that becomes just a chit of a girl, yet she dared to challenge the big decision. See? That perfectly nails that idea of surprising bravery we were just talking about. Then look at the next one. They couldn't believe that a chit of a girl could speak so wisely. Again, it's all about emphasizing something amazing and unexpected coming from someone so young. All right, let's bring it all home. We've gone through the definition, the nuance, the examples, so what are the main takeaways here? Let's boil it all down so it's super easy to remember. So here's the bottom line. First, it's an old term for a young, inexperienced girl. Simple enough. Second, remember the tone can go both ways. It can be totally neutral or it can be pretty condescending. But third, and this is the most important part, its key use is to highlight when a young girl does something with surprising boldness or wisdom. And finally, just keep in mind, it's definitely an old-fashioned expression. You might not hear it every day, but if you do, now you'll know exactly what's going on. And that kind of makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other tricky English idioms out there might suddenly make a lot more sense if we just looked at them from a different language's point of view? It's a pretty cool thought that sometimes the best way to understand something familiar is to look at it through a fresh pair of eyes. Thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching this video. Hopefully useful. Don't forget to like and subscribe.